We'll spend every night beside a campfire, counting the stars in the sky. We're riding to the never, never, on a long white road, a road that never ends. Nobody knows just when we will get there, but what does it matter if time goes by? We'll spend every night beside a campfire, counting the stars in the sky. We're riding.
Not to worry. On a change of key there.
On a change of key.
None of us were expecting.
Go back, yeah. No worries.
I thought we were going to do the change of key on the second act.
Sure.
Nobody knows just when we will get there, but what does it matter if time goes by? We'll spend every night beside a campfire, counting the stars in the sky. We're riding to the never, never, this is the original key, on a long white road, a road that never ends, a road that never.
Thank you, John. What memories that brings back, not only to me, I think thousands and thousands of your listeners, Herbie, but I had that, as we all had it, on a 78 with an inside start, which would not mean one thing to a young listener, would it? I mean, a 78 record with an inside start.
And also it was re-released, back in the late 50s, John, wasn't it? Or early 60s on, was it Astor? Re-released that?
We did yes, we did an up-tempo, very up-tempo version of it.
Yeah.
But that was what I was sitting at there, and I fooled myself, and it was not the pianist Ray Sharp's fault. I said, we tried it in two keys in a little run-through that we had beforehand, and I said to Ray, let's try it in the original key, which is considerably higher. So we did, and I sang it quite well. And so we arranged the key change, but I thought it was coming at when we went back to do the reprise of the last 16 bars. But as arranged, Ray said, no, we'll do it just in the last 4 bars. So that was my fault. I blew the line, but we got back and I finished it in the original key.
John, you're singing better than ever.
That's the first time I've sung for a long, long while.
Well,
like Gracie Fields, you take your heart to the party.
I'll ask you to play.
As a matter of fact, Smacker Fitzgibbon said a funny thing to me. I was sitting on Minnie Fitzgibbon not long after we went up there to do This Is Your Life, and we were down there at Smacker's joint. And there's Smacker up killing him. And I said to Minnie, whatever happened to me? She said, you didn't buy a banjo. Good luck.
John, thanks for coming in.
Thank you, John. So good to see you.
Thank you, Ray.
And now enjoying some sandwiches and some Graham's enjoying some sandwiches and some cakes from the Windsor. And a cuppa. You love your cuppa, don't you?
I really do.
It's very hard for someone not connected with the industry and not having worked in it to really know at what stage of development we're at now. You know, someone says that it's never been better. Some people say there's been a lull. What's the story at this time?
Well, I'm a newcomer, Bert. The Odd Angry Shot is my 5th one that I've been concerned with. I think it's all go at the moment. Technically, our films are as good, I think better, than anywhere else in the world. Our actors have learned how to adjust to film acting because it's quite different.
And what's the adjustment? To bring it down?
Well, in my case, yes, especially visually. You know, on the small screen when you're doing sketches and IMT, it's quite different. You work a lot less than you do on the big screen because everything is magnified so hugely. That's my only method. Someone asked me the other day, what method do I use? And I said, well, I usually turn up on time, sober, and I know the jokes. That's how I do it, and I play down whenever I can because I think that's the only thing that'll save me. But I think we're producing world-class motion pictures, and I'm thrilled about it. They're exciting people. I love being with them. It's like early television days. I can truthfully say I've never worked with anyone in the Australian motion picture industry that wasn't a delight to be with. That's crew, that's actors and crew.
Oh, yeah. How lovely to see you.
And you too.
Oh, what a wonderful surprise.
Yes, I hope you're happy because I am, because you owe me money you never paid me, you know.
What for?
Oh, I won't bring it up here, but I could. You
Really?
still owe me money, yes.
Good God.
Yes, you do.
I can't imagine what for.
Oh, it's not much, only $30, $40. Hello, Al.
G'day, Jock. How are you?
How are
Good
you,
to
my
see you,
dear
mate. Thanks for coming in.
I wanted to say, we've been waiting on you. You're a half an hour late. Where have you been?
Oh, well, which one are we going to do?
Standing outside of...
Yeah, I've been standing outside... See, I'm rusty, now you know I'm out of work.
You're late. You're a half an hour late. Where have you been?
I've been standing outside a cake shop half an hour.
What for?
There was a tart upside down in the window.
Oh,
1936.
How are you, Joff?
Very good, thanks.
Good to see you.
how's Bernie and Frank and Dale and...
All terrific. And I'm a grandfather again?
No.
Yes. Done it again, Russell.
Russell?
Not Russell had the baby.
No, I know.
Russell is the father.
Is the father.
Yes, and Bronwyn, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And in Wonthaggi Hospital, little boy, and £6.11.
Good God.
And his name is Jacob Daniel. And all the nurses are listening at Wonthaggi. So
Beautiful. Hello to all the girls. Here's a great big kiss from me, one from Graham.
I'll do a Nolan Brown one.
Do a Nolan Brown one.
You get overtime doing that, don't you?
We got criticised for that. I don't know why. I enjoyed it thoroughly. I mean, it was a comedy kiss. It wasn't a real...
Yeah, that's right. You didn't go into real great holes.
But the phones would... the switchboard would light up every night that we did it. So that's disgusting. I guess they were jealous.
And that was nothing to what was going on at the back.
No.
After the show.
Break through my finger.
You can't do that.
Can't do that.
Lower Tarwin, Jock, you still loving every moment of it?
Yes, indeed. Oh, yes, it's beautiful. Although I'm nicking off overseas again in about a month.
How many trips have you had overseas now?
4 or 5 if you count Albert Park.
You've had 4 in about 4 years, though.
Oh, well, you've got
Good
to
luck
go
to you.
while you're young.
Yeah, well, you and Bernie decided to see as much of the world as you possibly could, didn't you?
Well, I think I've said this before plenty of times, and Graham knows that when you young blokes were dashing overseas, I was raising a family, and I couldn't go, so, and I never spent much time with my kids. So that were one of the reasons why I decided to retire, and the other reason was to get out and see a bit of the world.
And another reason I might tell you that Jock takes all these trips overseas is because he's very fond of the Sheilas, and I keep telling him he can't do well with the women because you haven't got it.
No, but I've got that.
What's that?
That's it.
Oh, boy.
Just sitting here and having a look at you two blokes, and anybody who was able to be in my position this morning would just have some wonderful memories flooding back. I mean, I was lucky enough to come into IMT pretty early in the piece, but not right at the start. And for a couple of years, Melbourne wasn't Melbourne without watching Graham Kennedy and Joff Allen on television. And you've said before, Graham, that it was when Joff Allen came into IMT that things for you really started to take off because you'd known his work and you'd loved his work.
Well, we worked together, not together on stage, but I was in the same show. With Joff, who was resident comedian at the Plaza Theatre Northcote, and I used to watch him every night, and I learnt a lot. But I learnt a lot from him, particularly in our television work together. I think Joff taught me lots of comedy technique and lots of timing, which, of course, I'll be forever grateful for. But the big thing about Joff joining the show, we had no writers. I mean, Corky and I would just sit there and chat and hope something amusing eventually would happen. So we got Joff, who brought his veritable trunkload of material with him.
All stolen.
And we did gags every night. It was wonderful. And wonderful for me. I doubt if I'd be here now either without Joff.
Well, it was wonderful for me too, Gray. I don't think I didn't learn. We all learned together, which was beautiful. We all learned television together.
And the viewers too, because they didn't know any different. So when we did the original IMTs and nothing much happened, they thought, oh, this must be what live television is. But then the jokes came, and that was the start of it all. It was great fun.
That's the one thing, of course, the young performers, or the new performers coming in today, young or old, I feel sorry for them because they'll never understand that feeling, will they? They'll never go through that experience.
No, they never get a chance to learn it.
Joff, I bet you agree with me. I think the sad thing is that there are, sketch comedy is almost going. I think in the clubs in Sydney they're still doing sketches, but like when Joff goes, and I hope it's not for 50 years, who will know the bits? Now, you can write them down, but you don't know the business. Joff knows the business, and there aren't too many comedians left, sketch comedians left.
No, it's a dying art, I think.
Well, I'm sad about that.
Yeah, so am I, because it, like Vaudeville died a long while ago, but it still lingered on sketches, around places, but perhaps in the clubs.
Sketch comedy will never die, it's just that nobody's doing it.
Yeah, well, Lucky Grills does, but I think he does it in the clubs.
I saw Lucky the other night. He's fond of a chat, isn't he?
Oh, yes.
Hello, Lucky, I said, and the next thing, half an hour later, I said, well, I'll see you soon.
Joff, of the great comedians, the former great comedians, who was always your favourite?
I liked Jim Gerald best of all, I think, because I loved them all, of course, but Jim can make you laugh and make you cry at the same time. You know, he could get a bit of pathos into it where the others did in a way, but I don't know, he always made me laugh and he always could make me sad at times.
What about you, Gray?
Yes, definitely Jim, but I was impressed by the big three, Mo, whom I only saw work once, sadly. George Wallace I saw work.
Wonderful comedy,
George Wallace, Senior, of course, I mean. Very funny. And Jim. And I got to, thanks to Joff, I got to know Jim towards the end of his life, and he was a very funny man. I saw him do, what was the bit that he used to do, Joff? Posting the letter or something.
Posting the letter was a funny one,
That was not only funny, but it was terribly sad.
That was in mine too, wasn't it?
Yeah, no words in that at all, but there'd be tears at the end.
But and George Wallace was funny, just especially in the latter years. You know, when he worked at the Plaza, he was losing his memory. Why, don't look at me like that, Bert.
No, I'm...
Oh, you're right. You're looking at me funny, didn't he?
Oh,
Graham used to do that, look at me and cross his eyes when I'm in the middle of something.
But, Joff, that was nerves. That was me thinking, I wonder how the next bit goes. Because in those days, we didn't get too many chances. We didn't get very many rehearsals. And if you didn't know it, I mean, most of the rehearsal was done in the caravan or the dressing room.
That's why we stood around a lot.
We did too.
I used to do quite a bit of my rehearsal in the caravan too.
Yes, truly.
That was lifting and putting it down again, mate, wasn't it?
Joff, the reason I was looking at you, not strangely, the reason I was looking at you, I guarantee if you knew when you first went to IMT, if you'd known just how many bits you were going to require to be done and how much material you'd have to come up with, I'm wondering if you would have taken...
I'm sure I would have actually, because it also made me, you know, and put me on my feet, but... we all learned together, and it wasn't like it was later on. It got terribly hard, didn't it, Gray? You know, when it was that part of it had gone off, and when we were all sort of learning together, and we all thought we were pretty good, and it was much more sophisticated.
We were pretty good, actually, remembering, because we had people. Joff was our leader. We had Rosie Sturgis, Evie Hayes. It was quite a gang of people there in the bits. But it's funny these days when I'm working with some great writers at the moment. We're doing some radio plays, comedies. For the ABC, and Tony and Gary, although terrific writers, you can say, do you remember the car bit? And you know, they've got no idea what the car bit means, or 3 3s are 10,
that's
or
right.
Take back the frying pan, or...
That's great, isn't it? The Odd Angry Shot. As a matter of fact, I myself was in The Odd Angry Shot.
Hang on, Joff, I've just completed this Australian motion picture called The Odd Angry Shot, and I was with it for 7 weeks, and I didn't see you in it.
Oh, no, I got fired early.
As I say, a 3-way feed then. Joff, you going to sing a song for us?
What could I sing?
Well, imagine it's Lower Tarwin, about 11 o'clock on a Saturday night, we're all there, and go off with something.
Something like, hey there, you with the knobs on your knees.
Yeah, something like that.
Make it funny.
What are you... what are you really going to
I
sing?
passed by your window.
Yeah.
Oh, lovely song.
Yeah.
I passed by your window this morning at 3. Please won't you tell me what you emptied on me?
Memories for us
one of
all.
those lovely voices that goes,
Yeah, it's very
I
shaky.
adore.
Actually, he's got a darn good voice, you know, particularly with a little lubrication in. And off you go.
Really?
The one thing you never do, though, at your play, he never finishes a record, puts the record on, and is never happy with that.
Well, if you got 1,000, you got to hurry if you want to get them all in the one night.
Don't we know? I've spent many happy hours with Joff trying to listen to the end of records, but he says, no, that's very good, but you'll love this one. And before long, it's 4 o'clock in the morning, and you haven't heard one chorus of anything.
What about the one I was searching for one night, and we were all there, Frank and Dale and Bernie, everyone was there, all half stung, and I was looking for this record for a long while, and I went out and got it. It was in the bedroom where I put the best one, so I went, and I come out and said, I found it, and it broke a name.
Joff, you're down in Melbourne for an appearance today, aren't you?
Yes, I'll be for the week. That's helping to pay the fares, of course.
Oh, where are you, Joff?
Flinders Fair.
Mm-hmm.
Flinders Fair. Where's
Flinders Fair, down opposite the Gas and Fuel
In Flinders Street.
Oh, well, I'll come along and get your autograph.
Do you two remember appearing at the Princess Theatre in Aladdin, was it?
Yeah,
We
wasn't it?
remember. In fact, there's a story there. Joff, I don't know how we did this, but I think we were doing IMT at night, and I was doing some radio, but 2 a day at the Princess at the same time. But there was Test cricket on, and Joff said, I've got to get to the match today. And the worst show, the show we always dreaded, was the first one on Saturday morning. We packed out. We had more... I don't think they had a crowd there since
First
Danny
time I've
Carter
ever
or
had it,
something.
yeah.
So they were thrilled about it. But Saturday morning, so Joff had to get to the cricket, so he said, we'll cut 10 minutes. And I said, OK, I know what to do. And our routine finished on a song. Now, it's OK to cut 10 minutes, but what you've got to do is warn Verdon Williams in the pit.
Yeah,
because naturally all the band go out for 20 minutes while you're on. So we go into the finish with Frank, teeny, weeny, teeny, weeny,
Genie.
and I hear one violin. That's all I was there. And slowly we came back, and there was a full complement for the finish, but we got into terrible trouble, and quite rightly so.
Yes, they were running in...
Dropping cans and